Hello, hello, hello. My name's Sandra. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you a non-spoilery review of the sequel to Seasons of Albadone by Élan Marché and Christopher Warman called A Contract in Sol Forne. I am so sorry if I butchered her name or the title, so please correct me if I did. I read the first book in the Eighth Chant series probably 2 years ago now, and it was such an under-the-radar book at the time. It ended up being one of my absolute favorite reads of that year, and it was also a SPIFFO 7 semifinalist, so it's so good. The storytelling is really strong, the characters are all flawed, yet really engrossing, the atmosphere is really intense and like being dropped into a dark fairy tale, and then the writing is so twisty and emotionally wrenching, like gut-wrenching. So if you are looking for a shorter read that packs a lot of surprise punch, definitely don't forget to pick up the first book, Seasons of Albadone. I don't think you'll regret giving that a read. When I heard a sequel was in the works, I got so excited. I thought the rune and chant magic system of the first book was so intriguing. How that story ended left the door cracked open for other stories in this world, so I immediately requested an ARC when they became available, and then I had to sit down and read it cover to cover in the span of a couple days, so it was really good, and I strongly recommend this book. A Contract in Sol Forne is available next week on February 1st. I'll link out to all of the books and the author's socials in the description box below if you want to learn more. The book is so much thicker than the first one. It takes place about a year after the events of Seasons of Albadone, and it follows 3 character POVs. We have Valen, who is an immortal elvish woman who has lived for over 3,000 years. We have 16-year-old orphan Dorvan, who lives with his older sister Ensa. And then we have a young woman named Rena, who is a practicing enchantress in this faction called the Order of the Blue Scarab. Valen is perhaps my favorite character. She happens to be something called a djinn, which functions essentially like a genie. She's enslaved to a magical artifact, and she is compelled to fulfill the wishes of those that she enters into a contract with. She is plagued by something called the hunger, which involves her seeking out someone to do this blood ritual with. If she does not sate that hunger, world-shattering events can occur. A contract only completes upon fulfillment of a wish, no matter how complicated or nefarious that wish might be. So we meet her at the beginning of a book. She receives a letter from a former lover/friend about an artifact that she has been searching for that may free her from her enslavement. So she hits the road for Sol Forne, and that's where she crosses paths with the other 2 characters. Next is Dorvan. Dorvan. He is perhaps the least likable character in this book by design, but this also means that he probably has the most room for growth. I actually really enjoyed reading his scenes. If you're familiar with Joe Abercrombie's work, you know Abercrombie is an expert at writing character point of view. You immediately know whose head you're in when you read his chapters, and you're privy to how that character views the world. The character of Dorvan reminded me so much of Abercrombie's character writing. Dorvan is quite frankly a detestable little shit. He is self-absorbed, he's superficial, he's prideful, he's awful to his sister. He's like Giselle from First Law, if you're familiar with that series. He does get his just desserts like Giselle does too, which is great. But at the start of the book, Dorvan is wanting to get his noble name back. His house dissolved several years past, and he just wants to be in the noble class again. He has zero interest in working for his supper or lifting a finger to earn anything in life, and he very much has an entitlement complex. The third character is Rena. She's perhaps the one I struggled with the most. She has accepted her obligation to the Blue Scarabs after apprenticing for years and years and then becoming Mother Rena of her hometown of Twineback. But after Twineback was pillaged by a neighboring country, Rena fled her hometown and went south, and that's where she ends up in Sol Forne and meets the other characters in the book. It's not that I didn't like Rena, I sympathized with her losses and her traumas. I just found it hard to agree with her almost blind willingness to support the Blue Scarab cause by any means possible. What I find really great about the author's writing is that none of the characters are all good or all bad. They're morally gray, they're complicated, they are driven by their past to behave in ways that they think justifies their actions and will create a better, fairer outcome for all, so they mean well. That's all I'll say about them, so I avoid spoilers, but apart from excellent character writing and really nuanced magic system and lore, I found the callbacks to the first book so much fun. Sol Forne is mentioned in the first book, and then that is the setting for this second one. And then there were also these creatures called Mare and the Jinn that were mentioned in the first book, which are, they play a bigger role in this sequel book. Also, with the setting of Sol Forne, it felt so much like Witcher 3, the Blood and Wine DLC, just the environment and the culture and the speech and all of that. It channeled so much of that. There's some fun character cameos too. We get to have our chatty errant knight from the first book back. He had some really entertaining scenes in this book. And then we also get to see little Sesha again. So please, somebody get this book, read it, and then message me because I need to talk about the end. I don't know what's going on. I need to know what happens. And we just need to discuss the epilogue to this book right here because I need to know what's happening. It had that unexpected darkness and twist that the first book had a lot of, so I really enjoyed it. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed this non-spoilery discussion of the sequel to Seasons of Albadone, A Contract in Sol Forne by Élan Marché and Christopher Warman. Again, hopefully I'm saying all of that right. This book is currently available for pre-order and it releases next week on February 1st. I've dropped links below in the description box. If you haven't read the first book in the Eighth Chant series, Seasons of Albadone, please go pick it up. It's really fun finding little Easter eggs in the book between that and the sequel. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you Friday for my journal update, my weekly update. So until then, happy reading, and I will see you then. Bye!